You have to put your people's best interests first, or it's not a legitimate system. And if there's another country and an arrangement with another country that's preventing you from doing that, you have to fix it. And then there are also moral questions. If that partner, your closest ally, the only democracy in the Middle East, is killing kids in Gaza, the West Bank, Lebanon, Iran, and doing so without apology, if it's committing war crimes every single day for years with your money and your weapons, at some point you're implicated in those crimes. And you have to stop that too. It's all bad. There's no upside. Where's the upside? And so the United States has to, and hopefully the first thing we do when and if this war is resolved, is detach from Israel. Not declare war on Israel or treat Israel as an enemy. They may treat us as an enemy, as they have before. When they tried to sink the USS Liberty, an American naval vessel, a surveillance vessel, they treated us as an enemy. We don't have to treat them as an enemy, however, and we shouldn't. But we should treat them like we treat every other country, as an ally, but with restrictions and reservations and red lines. No, you can't act against our interest. And this distancing should begin with a total end of aid of any kind, military or economic, to Israel by the U.S. government. And people who love Israel, some of whom are pretty successful, can send all the money they want to Israel, and that's fine. But the U.S. government should send not one more dollar to Israel and not one more piece of military material to Israel, not one more fighter jet or bomb or missile defense system or small arm or ammunition of any kind. Because Israel is aggressively acting against our interests. And so to continue to arm and finance them, their generous welfare state, for example, or their military, or defend their nation, is not only contrary to core American interests, it's just masochism. Watch us hate ourselves as we fund a country that's killed more Americans than most other countries have. That's just a fact, and not just on the Liberty. Every war that Israel has pushed us to join has resulted in dead Americans. And the fault lies ultimately with our leaders who are going along with this. It's their fault first. It's not the Israelis' fault. It's our fault. But they're implicated in it. This relationship has resulted in a lot of dead Americans, a lot. And it's time not to end it, not to set up an adversarial relationship, but to set up a healthy conventional relationship where Israel can pay its own bills and fund its own military and act within the constraints imposed on it by its own economy and population. That's what normal countries do. Most countries live with neighbors that don't like them, with whom they have testy relationships, but they make accommodations because they have no choice. There's no country in the world that acts with total impunity because it knows a much larger country will backstop it no matter what it does. That just doesn't exist in the natural world because it's not natural. It's grotesque. And it's terrible for the United States. And now it's obvious. And by the way, unless our lawmakers, unless the U.S. Congress restrains this relationship and changes its nature, there's going to be political turmoil in this country. So, no mas. It is really clear. Israel's pursuing what it thinks its own interests are, but those are not the same as our interests.